The potential eruption of the supervolcano that lies beneath Yellowstone may garner more alarming headlines. The most likely hazard is a major earthquake. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at the threat of earthquakes and how they have shaped Yellowstone. Yellowstone supervolcano often grabs the most alarming headlines. The park's next and far more likely natural disaster is actually a major earthquake, not eruption. Yellowstone experiences 1,500 to 2,500 earthquakes a year. Most so small they can't even be detected without sensitive equipment. Large quakes have rocked Yellowstone in the recent past. In 1959, a 7.3 magnitude earthquake caused a landslide that killed 28 people, and 80 million tons of rock also blocked a river to form the aptly named Earthquake Lake. The earthquake measured 7.5 on the Richter magnitude scale, later revised by USGS to 7.3, and caused an 80 million ton landslide, which formed a landslide dam on the Madison River. The earthquake was the most powerful to hit the state of Montana in historic times. The landslide traveled down the south flank of Sheep Mountain, at an estimated 100 miles per hour, killing 28 people who were camping along the shores of Hebgen Lake and, downstream along the Madison River. Upstream, the faulting caused by the earthquake forced the waters of Hebgen Lake to shift violently. A seismic, a wave effect created by wind, atmospheric pressure, or seismic activity on water, crested over Hebgen Dam, causing cracks and erosion. The earthquake created fault scarps up to 20 feet high in the area near Hebgen Lake, and the lake bottom itself dropped the same distance. 32,000 acres of the area near Hebgen Lake subsided more than 10 feet. Several geysers in the northwestern sections in Yellowstone National Park erupted and numerous hot springs became temporarily mudded. Within the immediate vicinity of the earthquake and resultant landslide, a few dozen cabins and homes were destroyed. Overall damages to buildings and roads were minor, with damage costs placed at $11 million in 1959. Aftershocks up to 6.5 on the Richter magnitude scale continued for several months. At the time, the quake was the second largest to occur in the continental U.S. during the 20th century. Today, a large quake poses an even greater threat, because of the increased visitor traffic, and the potential lack of routes in or out if roads become blocked. A major earthquake could also trigger hydrothermal explosions that could injure visitors. But probably not a full-scale volcanic eruption. In order for a large earthquake to trigger a volcanic eruption, you probably already need to have an eruption almost ready to happen, says Jamie Farrell, geology professor, University of Utah. Yellowstone is monitored with about 40 stations recording seismic data. We can't predict them, but by looking at past data, these earthquakes tend to cluster in areas. Given what's happened in the past, we can give a probability of having an earthquake over the next X amount of time, says Jamie Farrell, geology professor, University of Utah. Based on the known seismic activity for Yellowstone, it's more likely to crack rather than erupt anytime soon. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share.